Hello, hello, good evening, and happy Self Care Saturday. My name is Adama Hamadi, your delicious living coach. I help women that are feeling burned out, frustrated, and unfulfilled to get back in the driver's seat of their lives. I wanted to give a very quick video lesson today on how to create your own do it yourself self care kit, or rather, a self soothing kit. Self care is a term that's thrown around a lot, and so I want to make very clear exactly what I mean so it's a little bit easier to build this kit for yourself. So, if I share something that is helpful for you, I ask that you please join in the conversation. Go ahead and comment. Don't be afraid to interact with me. But if you're watching this on the replay and you have questions about how to implement any of this, find me on dreamleaplive.com. Go ahead and drop me a comment or a question, or you can email me dreamleaplive@gmail.com so we can take this conversation somewhere else. So, let me just make very clear what I'm talking about. Self care is any practice of looking after yourself to keep yourself physically, emotionally, or mentally healthy. Self care is helpful for absolutely anybody, but it's especially helpful for emotional sponges. What do I mean by that? An emotional sponge is anybody who is very naturally empathic, super sensitive, and probably is taking on other people's energy. You're probably an emotional sponge if you are super sensitive, if you often feel exhausted and can't figure out why, if your calendar is full of things that you're doing for other people because you can't stand inconveniencing someone or making someone feel, you know, like they can't do something. You want to help everybody. You take on other people's pain. You probably take on other people's stresses, and you often find yourself drained, exhausted, or just burned out, and you're not sure why. So, if you are an emotional sponge, the good news is you don't have to carry everybody else's shit forever, right? You can let this stuff go today. But a big key part of moving out of emotional spongehood and into kind of feeling your own feelings and feeling like you're in charge of your life is by establishing ways to care for yourself, establishing a self care plan that you can stick to, and finding ways to self soothe. What do I mean by self soothing? Self soothing is any strategy that you would use to comfort or nurture yourself in a time of distress. So if you are feeling especially distraught and overwhelmed and just overcome with negative emotions, anything you do to make yourself feel better, safer, or more relaxed would count as self soothing. Very common examples of things that people use to soothe themselves would be a happy hour, going out for a few drinks so you can calm yourself down, or smoking a cigarette, or eating food. Those are very common self soothers, but they're not the most productive or the most healthy. And so today I want to direct you towards something that's going to feel better for you long term, so that you're not just numbing the pain temporarily, but so you're actually learning how to build resilience long term. So, one tool that I have used that has really helped me is my own self soothing toolkit, right? So, it's rather than one tool, it's a number of different tools that works best when it is soothing all five of my senses at the same time: vision, hearing, touch, taste, and smell, right? You can have a list of actual go to exercises, or you can have physical, tangible things that you include in your kit. You can use it in you can put an actual Ziploc bag or a zippered bag or any little container where you can keep little snippets and fidget objects that you can kind of refer to when you feel really stressed out and you need a little guidance. So, how could you create your own self-soothing toolkit? Easy. The key to it is you want to make sure that there is one exercise and one tangible object that you can touch for every sense. Because like I said, self-soothing works best when it addresses all five of your senses. But if there's one sense that is especially strong for you, or one sense that is especially helpful for you to really engage and tap into, by all means, work through that one. So, here are some examples of things you can use. For vision, a behavior or an exercise you could do in order to self-soothe yourself is to walk through an art museum, walk through a pretty part of town, particularly a park or somewhere in nature that is really beautiful to you, or flip through a travel magazine. Because when you are looking at things that you find aesthetically pleasing, it's much easier for you to calm down and relax yourself. It's hard to feel distraught and stressed out when you're staring at something beautiful, right? And the kit object, the actual physical, tangible that you can have, is a picture of something or somebody that makes you smile. If you need to look at your significant other, if you need to look at a picture of your child, bonus tip, if you have children, try and track or pay attention to the things that calm them down, and you can create a do-it-yourself kit for them to use with them. So when I've worked with younger students, when I used to work with third graders, I had self-soothing kits for the students that had higher needs, the students that were more easily distracted, or that were more easily derailed or taken to a place emotionally. I had their own physical kits that they could refer to. That's a bonus tip. All right, so for vision, you can either have a picture of something that makes you smile or laugh, or you can walk through or into a really beautiful place. For hearing, and this is one that's really important for me, for hearing, you want to make sure that you can listen to soothing music or to the voice of somebody that tends to calm you down, right? But for the physical kit item, you might want to make sure you have your headphones handy so you can always tap in and listen to something on your phone. You can listen to the sounds of ocean waves on YouTube or on Ocean Wave app. You can listen to Spotify, any kind of music that really sets the mood for you or makes you feel calm and relaxed. Or you can listen to Pandora. There are many different ways you can find music or sounds that are calming to you, but make sure you have your headphones in that kit. For smell, the behavior that you can take on is you can make sure that you visit a bakery. I love Krispy Kreme donuts for the win. Walk into Krispy Kreme donuts and take a good whiff. Take a really good whiff of the freshly baked donuts or freshly baked bread or whatever it is, right? A kit item that can come in handy is a fresh cinnamon stick. I love the smell of cinnamon. You can keep tea bags in there so you can just kind of smell them when you need a moment. You can keep some kind of essential oil. I buy the little oils from, the Muslim brothers on the train that have the little belts on, and, they ask if you want to smell. I love Pink Sugar. I love Pink Privacy. They're very sweet, feminine scents that I really enjoy, and when I smell them, I tend to feel better. Another favorite of mine is to smell a scented whipped shea butter. I'm a really big fan of Zen in a Jar brand. It's, luxury care for the home and for the body. I really like to keep really small samples of my body butters, particularly the coconut and citrus scents. And I like to smell those when I'm feeling really stressed out. So yeah, those are examples of things that you can smell to make yourself feel better. Now for taste, I'm a big eater, and I'm not going to be able to keep a steak in my kit, right? But I can keep a small piece of chocolate or a Werther's Original caramel, something that really you can roll over your tongue to really enjoy the flavors of it, something that you have to eat mindfully, something you could really enjoy the taste of in a quick moment. So the behavior would be to eat something indulgent or sip on something warm and creamy like a hot chocolate or, what's that new shit that Starbucks has? Like a snickerdoodle latte or something, right? Something really sweet and creamy and decadent. You can sip on that really quickly and it'll bring you to a better place. It helps me, at least. And the last sense is touch. For the behavior, you can take a luxurious bubble bath. Make sure there's lots of bubbles that feel really good against your skin in warm water. If you have a dog or a cat, you can pet your animal because it can be really cathartic just to touch something soft. And the physical item that you can keep in your kit is a small piece of fabric, a piece of silk, a piece of chiffon, or you can keep a fidget object like a pipe cleaner or worry beads or a squishy stress ball, right? These are all examples of things that you can hold on to. Self-soothing is a really big piece of self-care. And if you don't know how to comfort yourself in times of distress, you are going to have a much harder time bouncing back from that stress. So, in honor of Self-Care Saturday, I'm going to ask you to craft your own self-soothing toolkit that has something for each of your five senses, or that has a list of things you can do to tap into each of your five senses. If this has been helpful, I ask that you please share this out with somebody who struggles with self-care or somebody that often find themselves overwhelmed and in a tizzy. If you are an emotional sponge, if you are an empath, super sensitive, you feel like you've been living someone else's life and taking on other people's shit and you kind of want some space for yourself, this self-soothing toolkit will really transform your life and the way you look at stress. So if you have questions about how to create this or about what this might look like for your specific case, please find me at dreamleaplive.com or email me dreamleaplive@gmail.com. So go on, get yours, and live deliciously. I'll talk to you very soon. Bye.